We wanted to get a sense of what it's like to be a young person here in Seoul. Some things being universal, some things being unique. So you said you would take me out on your usual night out on Saturday?
Of course.
All right, I'm excited. And I'm thirsty. Okay. All right. I'll follow you guys. It's a big time on this peninsula. Do you guys feel a lot of the weight that the rest of the world feels, or because it's been your whole life, do you think you feel it the same?
Koreans are expecting a lot in this summit and all the things that are going out around the Korean peninsula. There is a huge expectation on it.
Do you worry, like, if it doesn't go well, do you worry? Or at this point, is it kind of like, it's always been this way, so, you know, it'll just be more of the same?
Well, there are worries that it might be the same, but such reconciliation atmosphere always makes Koreans excited and makes them expected because it's a very important matter to us.
So you're hopeful?
Yeah, I'm hopeful, quite.
What's this district called?
This is actually called Gisarike. So
I won't ask you to spell that.
honestly, I don't know meaning to. Like, it's just called Gisarike. And this is a place that we're going. It's called 막걸리 집.
Makgeolli?
So 막걸리, that's the traditional alcohol that I told you.
Okay.
Yep. So
that sounds good to me. Let's go, Patrick. Now this is how I remember college. Okay. So we serve it. They go in this. It goes in these bowls. Please do the honors.
Okay.
So is this usually the beginning of the night, or is this like the whole night? Is this? You're one and done.
It depends.
If it's a good night. Konbae. So when you sit down on a Saturday night in Seoul at 20, 22 years old, what do you talk about? What's the first thing you talk about? Is it the typical, I broke up with my boyfriend or girlfriend? Or is it, oh my God, the DMZ is crazy right now?
We don't talk about this.
For you, it's just like, that's in the background, right?
That's right, but I know it sounds a little weird, but it's kind of normal status for most of the Koreans to have some disputes with North Korea.
I see.
So even though they test their nuclear programs or maybe fire their ICBM missiles, yes, we care, but it's not like the rest of the world. Oh my God, the Korea is going crazy because we already know.
They're like, welcome to our life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
크게 안 해주는데 너무
고맙습니다.
Thank you.
So we have kimchi here, and we have this seafood.
So, this is the pie, half and half, yeah. I usually go for pepperoni, but kimchi is good too. Dating life in South Korea for a young person. I'm curious how it is because the average woman in South Korea now has a baby at 30 plus years old, which seems really late. Why is that? Because
it's too hard to date someone or marry someone or have baby because we all need money and time if we like want to date something.
So the unemployment rate, people see 10.8% and think, okay, you know, people need jobs. They may not realize that also affects if you're able to date, if you're able to start a family and all this. Do you worry about that? No?
We all do. But I think the problem in Korea with the job market is that we don't have any, it's really hard to get a decent job. So you have the jobs, but...
And why is that? Because the economy, it's a big economy.
Well, I think it's up to the politicians to figure out the problems.
I don't know what this is made of. It tastes definitely fermented in a good way. It's like kind of tart, kind of creamy. What is it made of?
It's made of rice.
Rice. Okay. This might seem like a funny question. One day, 5, 10 years down the road, would you work in North Korea if things opened up?
Sure.
Why not?
The competition rate to become an employee in such companies is like over like more than 100 to 1.
Oh my gosh.
And like only like 20 or 30 years ago, it was like only 4 to 1 or 5 to 1. It was like a very easy entrance for people who had like high education. But nowadays, like the education level and the standards of people, it all like came up so high and skyrocketed.
In the U.S., over the past year, it's been such a big deal, the Me Too movement, hashtag. Has that made an impact here?
Oh yeah, certainly. And I would say it's ongoing phenomenon in Korean society. And well, Korea is a very conservative society comparing to U.S. And the gender role was very strict in this society.
Well, there are parking spots just for women, I noticed, that it's kind of still old-fashioned in that way.
Yeah, it is. We have the department, but it's really hard to break the traditions and change the people's think how they perceive the world.
Another question: what's gay rights like here?
I think that the sentiments are changing, but still very divided within the nation. Mm-hmm. Like political parties, they're not so much active in saying that they protect the gay rights, because in Korea, the religious parties, especially the very conservative Christianity churches, they're a very big organized force that influences the Korean.
Really? Remind me of the cheers?
Komdae.
Komdae. Thank you guys for coming out with me. Show me a Saturday night.